What's up, y'all? So this video here basically is talking about the K1 Fiance visa. I can only tell you the experience that my wife and I had through the whole process. Um, First of all, uh, we talked to each other online for probably close to a year by video. Video is number one. You must use video. Can't do it any other way. You don't know whether or not you're being scammed or not, so you have to use video. Uh, So basically, what I did was I had to go to the Philippines. My wife is a Filipino. I had to travel to the Philippines to visit with her, to spend time with her, to prove to the government that we have a legitimate relationship. Um, Lots of pictures, y'all. Get lots of pictures. Take a lot of pictures because they're going to want to see pictures as well. When I'll get to that. If you buy anything in that country, make sure you hold on to the receipts showing that you were uh, buying things. While the two of you are apart from each other, send your partner cards, things like that. She can send you cards. These are things that you can prove and show them that you two have a very legitimate relationship. That's very, very important. Once you come back from your visit, and I don't know if I said it already, but I'm going to say it again, you must travel to that country. You have got to prove to them that you've been there. When you come back, you can then start the application process for the visa. They will acquire a lot of information from you who is petitioning to bring your partner across seas or whatever to be with you. Um, we had to. What I basically had to do was I had to put together a portfolio. It was pretty thick, y'all. It was everything that they ask for. You have got to provide. Basically, all they want to know is, are you financially stable? Do you have a home, a stable home? They want to make sure that when you bring your partner into your life, basically, they want to make sure that you financially can take care of that partner. So that's very, very important. Anything that the government asks for, make sure you have it. Make sure you have that double, triple check before you send it out. If you miss something, that could set you back a couple of months, possibly a couple of months. And trust me, man, you're going to go through trials with each other that just it'll drive you crazy. I had sent the application in, and it's 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 just mind-boggling because you're just like waiting to hear from the government whether or not it has been approved or not. I think it took uh, wow, I think it took 9 months. I might be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure it took a while. I had it set up to where they would send me an email telling me that it's been approved or not. And I remember um, receiving that email when I was at work, and I was jumping all over the place, man. I prayed every day for this. We both did. We prayed hard because we wanted to be together. And the key is making sure that everything that they asked for that you sent, which we did. Make sure the portfolio, the packet that you send in, it's very neat. Make sure it's neat and it's organized. Each section is you know is organized. Um, Once it was approved, my wife then had to go. She had to have a physical done in her country, and just to make sure she didn't have a disease, was bringing back a disease here to this country. Once you get through that, then she must apply also for the visa, and that is by going and setting up an interview with the U.S. Embassy in that country. In her case, the U.S. Embassy in the Philippines. is where she had to go for her interview. And I specifically can remember that day. There's a difference in time, so it was nighttime here. I was at work, and my wife now was going for her interview. And man, I got to tell you what, I don't remember anything that I did that day. It grabs a hold of you, that it's that intense. And I can remember, I think it was about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the evening. I worked up until 9:30, and I got off of work, but I was still at work. So I think it was a little bit after 9, I think. She had sent me a message saying that she had been approved. Man, I got to tell you, man, I was just hopping from wall to wall. It was awesome. So now what happens? Once you have been given the approval to have that visa to travel into another country, you now have only the 90 days, to be married. So I had set up a plane ticket for her to come one way. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it back to come back with her, so that's how we did it. I think within the next 2 weeks, I think it was the next 2 weeks is when she boarded that plane. She worked a full-time job, and you know, it was very emotional for her to leave her family, to leave her job, to leave her friends and her country. Now, you as the petitioner, myself, you got to prepare yourself for what you are going to experience once she arrives. It's a culture shock. Yeah, it's the United States, and there's a lot of people that say, "Man, I would do anything to be able to go to the United States." Well, you know what? I'm a U.S. citizen, and it's not all cut out how a lot of people think it is. But that's my opinion. Anyhow, I think it was within 2 weeks. She then boarded that plane, and she had arrived within 24 hours. She arrived here in the U.S. And yeah, the trials are, you basically are going to deal with her feeling lonely, her missing her family, missing everything about it. I mean, this is all new. She is all that you have got. She doesn't have her family now. She has you and your family. So it's different. It's hard to adjust to that. But, you know, I got to say that my wife handled it pretty well. But here it is, 4.5 years later. She still struggles with that. I don't think it's something that, you know, just kind of, it's 4.5 years, it's really not that long. So she still struggles with that sort of thing. And you just have to support her or him. You got to be there for them. You got to understand how difficult that is for somebody just to pick up and leave their country to start a new life. That's basically what it is. Once she arrived here, you go through another phase to where she pretty much cannot do anything. She pretty much sits at home. If you're working, she can't do anything other than if you have family that takes her out, him out, whatever. What I mean is you can't get a job, you know, you can't get a driver's license, you can't get a photo ID, you can't do any of those things. There's a waiting period, okay? So you have 90 days to be married. So you get married, and now you send that information to the USCIS, and they then will grant your wife her green card, and or husband, whatever. So once you receive that green card is only good, I think it's 5 years. No, it's 3 to 5 years or something like that, I think. We had been married, and so she had her green card, so now she was able to get a job. She was able to get a photo ID, driver's license, all that stuff. And things start to settle down a little bit. Now, mind you, it's still very important to make sure you have that contact with video with family. You have to have that. You cannot expect them to not want to see their families. So here we are now, 4.5 years later. My wife had received her 10-year green card. The 10-year green card gives you the, it kind of opens up more doors for you in the United States. It allows you to now apply for citizenship. My wife has had her 10-year green card now for, I think, a year or so, maybe. I think it's been about a year. And we are, like I said, went through the biometrics, and now we are down to the last two final stages, which is the interview, then the getting sworn in. So that's pretty much it, y'all. I mean, it is a lengthy process. You will have your ups and downs. The emotions that the two of you will feel are very real, and they will kick you in your butt. It's nerve-wracking in the final or the first stages of the whole thing. It is nerve-wracking, but if you are providing them everything they're asking for, it's legitimate, and you both believe that you will be together, it should be a very smooth process. So I'm going to leave you all with that, and I hope that anybody that's going through this process, I wish you the best, and just believe, and it will happen. Anybody has any questions about it, we're happy to answer anybody's questions if you have any. Just shoot us a comment, and I'll talk at you all later. Thanks for watching. Bye.